The Commonwealth of Massachusetts requires that the first time a licensed real estate agent meets a consumer to discuss or show a specific property, that the agent must disclose the manner in which he or she will be working on your behalf. We accomplish this through the Massachusetts mandatory Licensee Consumer Relationship Disclosure Form, which is a mouthful. This document is not a contract, and you are not required to sign it. However, an agent is required to present it to you and discuss the different types of agency. Now, there are 5 types of agency: the seller's agency, buyer's agency, designated sellers or buyer's agency, facilitator, and dual agency. The difference between designated agency and traditional agency is that in designated agency, every agent is their own individual business and no information is shared. In a traditional agency office, files can be shared. Since I have licensed staff that handles all of our files, we're set up as a traditional agency office. Now, information isn't shared with other agents, yet my licensed staff qualifies as other agents. My staff is providing a service to both you and I, and that's why our office is set up as a traditional office. It allows me to focus on serving you and not focus on handling paperwork. Now, buyers and sellers agents, regardless of type, owe you 6 responsibilities, and there's a very easy acronym to remember this by, and it's called OLD CAR. It stands for obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting of funds, and reasonable care. Sellers and buyers agents, when it comes to obedience and loyalty, it's just what you think it is. Obedience is anything you ask me to do, as long as it's not illegal. I'm obligated to do it. Loyalty is I must put your needs above my own and anybody else's. Disclosure, anything I know about a property or other party to a transaction that could affect a buyer's decision to purchase, I'm legally required to share. Confidentiality is, a lot of agents have diarrhea of the mouth when it comes to confidentiality because they don't know how to leave dead air. They always feel it has to be filled with conversation. But confidentiality really says, I'm not allowed to share anything about you except information that would appear in a contract without your permission. A lot of agents that just spew at the mouth, it can really damage your ability to negotiate at a later time because they may have shared information that could allow the other party to have great leverage against you. Accounting of funds. I have an obligation to let you know where any exchange funds are being held. And lastly, reasonable care. As I am considered to have skill and expertise in real estate matters superior to that of the average person, because I do this for a living, I have a duty to use them while pursuing your affairs. No broker is expected to perform tasks or know information outside the scope of his or her real estate license. If you were to say that you want to live in a safe neighborhood, I would point you to familywatchdog.us. Some things you must research on your own, and we can help you finding that information, pointing you in the right direction. A facilitator can assist with negotiations, yet cannot give advice, guidance, or counsel. As a matter of fact, the only duties a facilitator is required to provide are disclosure and accounting of funds. And I want you to note, really make special note, that a facilitator has no duty of confidentiality. Now, the last type of agency is called dual agency. And a dual agent represents both the buyer and the seller to a transaction. Both parties must provide consent for an agent to work in this capacity. Now, as you can imagine, it's pretty difficult to provide obedience and loyalty to 2 parties simultaneously because you can't have 2 masters. But a dual agent must still provide the duties of confidentiality and accounting of funds. Beyond that, a dual agent really acts as a neutral third party to facilitate the transaction between the 2 parties. If you'd like to discuss any of this in more detail, please let me or my office know and we can schedule a time to talk.